Welcome to m&tM Machines. In number 72, you're getting the compensatory game for the comedy of errors that was number 67. The participants and scenario were carefully chosen to maximize the fun. Or something. This is about men with grudges to settle, about the acts of aggression stirred by nothing less than mate poaching, drinking the last beer, or insulting the other one's mom. Acts of aggression, traditionally settled with guns. This time, the saloon got too small for Lieutenant Allister Caine and Jarl Skuld, the devil of the Thornwood. And violence erupts in the streets as their bros and buddies rush to their aid. Scenario is close quarters, point size is 28. Keep your heads down and enjoy. Alright, my force, Allister Caine's gung-ho guns, consisted of him, a hunter, a defender, the Black 13th gun mage strike team, a unit of rangers and a minimum unit of trencher commandos. I know that gun mages would have been the go-to choice, but I did not want to be this blunt. For solos there are a gun mage captain adept deployed slightly off picture and a squire. The devil of the Thornwood had an impaler and Mulk the Ancient. Oh poop. Then a min unit of champions, a max unit of bushwhackers and a thumper crew. Caine got the initiative and decided to keep it. His first turn he gives a focus to the defender. Gunmage, Captain, Adept, Rangers, Black 13th, Squire, Defender all ran. Caine walked into the forest to put blur onto the commandos and then teleported back out again. The hunter walks. I'm keeping him back because I'm hoping to use him to soften up Mulk when he comes down the road. I forget to activate the commandos subsequently. Whether that was really a bad thing? I don't know. Jarl figures that he is pretty boned for his first turn. When building my list, I didn't really figure that most things would have stealth. Go figure. I once again missed out on a picture. Thankfully it's turn 1. His guys run up, Jarl puts Quicken on the pigs and Tactical Supremacy on himself, and promptly forgets about it. The Bushwhacker's front row does a sizable 6 pigs combined ranged attack into the defender and misses against defense 14. Round 2, Caine decides to pull the first focus from his squire, drops blur, allocates one to the hunter. Those champions need to go. If I allow them to tie me up, Mulk will be upon me. The Gummage Captain opens up, moves back around the building, away from the Impaler, and puts a brutal damage round into the left champion, dealing 5 points. Then I activate the commandos. A first wave goes up and shoots down the left champion who fails his tough roll. They also deal 2 points of damage to the right one. The Black 13th activates, chooses snipe, and I pray for good rolls. I kinda get them. Ryan's Mage Storm, while way too short, drifts straight ahead for 6 inches, a little too much. Mulk is not damaged, thankfully. The 2 champions are, however, though lightly. Watts and Lynch bounce off. Caine advances, casts Snipe onto the Rangers and chooses not to feed. His pistols reduce the right champion to 1 box, then he teleports away. The defender hammers 1 round into the middle champion, taking him out. The hunter wants to shoot the last one, advances, and is half an inch out. The sniped rangers aim for the pigs in the forest, and even though they need 9s to hit, they kill 4 of them. On Jarl's turn, he upkeeps both spells after leeching. Since the Gummage Captain Adept is the only target in range for the Thumper, he shoots, yet misses since the GMCA profits from cover. It is here that I learn that the Thumper's weapon has no AoE. Oops, I had remembered that differently. That definitely changes things. The Impaler fast strikes itself and tries to shoot the GMCA too, but he is way too short. The last champion heroically charges the closest commando and takes him out. Mulk runs up after him. The pygmies reposition and CIA into the hunter, dealing it 10 damage and taking out the gun. Shit. Jarl advances, casts Fast Strike on himself and then Magic Bullet. He fires at the defender, boosts to hit, misses, shoots the other gun, boosts, hits, does no damage, but the Magic Bullet hits Watts and takes him out, so that the Black 13th lose Prowl. Round 3. Caine did not shoot Morg with the defender for fear of him gaining the speed bonus. Now that he's up in the area, though, it's time to clear him out. Caine draws another focus from the squire. The defender gets 3 focus, the hunter gets 2, snipers dropped. I make a misplay and go first with Caine. I should have done the rangers first, but I didn't. Caine waltz up, puts 2 rounds into Morg for some damage, then feeds, but he takes out no pygmies since they're sitting at defense 17. He then teleports back to safety. The rangers go, and they actually manage to take out 3 further bushwhackers. The hunter boosts to hit Morg, hits, but the boosted damage just bounces off even with armor piercing. The gun mage captain moves to the left a bit, and he rolls very decent on his phantom shot damage roll, dealing 2 damage to Morg. Then Lynch and Ryan go. Ryan deals some more decent damage to Morg, but here's Lynch's damage roll. How did that guy ever become the captain of that unit? The commandos move out and fling their grenades at Morg. 2 miss, but the others trickle more damage in, courtesy of being power 12. The defender then charges. 3 focus later, however, Morg is still standing with 6 boxes and only the mind gone. Jarl needed a plan. He starts with the easy part, Leech Fury. Then he only upkeeps Tactical Supremacy. The pygmies get a very unsettling order. Affix bayonets! Then they charge headlong into the rangers and all miss. The thumper fires at the closest commando and fails to hit. The impaler charges in and takes it out. Jarl goes next. He advances, feeds, casts magic bullet and shoots the defender. Due to the defense bony, however, he misses him and hits Morg instead. Luckily he doesn't damage and magic bullet goes off, killing another commando. Then he recasts magic bullet again and takes his second shot with the same results. The defender is missed, Morg is hit but not damaged, and the commando dies from magic bullet. The commandos make their check. Then Jarl heals some boxes on Morg to fix all aspects. Morg proceeds to Morg smash the defender. Poor Warjack, we hardly knew thee. Round 4. Morg's hiding in damn clouds, but if I get the ranger thing right this time, it should still work. Caine measures his control and wants Morg to be in range. He then draws the last focus from the squire and allocates 2 focus to the hunter. The rangers go first. One advances as far as possible to mark Morg, and the others attack the pygmies, but they only force 1 tough roll, which is made. The first and only one in this game, I guess. The hunter advances and shoots Morg, but misses. The squire runs to be a speed bump. Caine stands still, boosts to hit, hits, boosts damage, and just headshots Morg. Unsure as what to do now, he shoots the knockdown pygmy and takes it out. Then he buys another attack at the last pygmy he can see, misses it, and kills a ranger instead. He was a Cadoran spy! With Morg dead sooner than expected, the last commandos advance, staying away from the impaler's spear, and chuck grenades at the thumper crew. One deviates and does nothing, the other one deviates too, but the blast kills the leader. The Black 13th move up and pump some brutal damage rounds into the impaler, taking out the spirit and mind. Sorry for the blurriness. Basically, Jarl upkept Tactical Supremacy, spends Fury to heal the impaler, then he fast strikes himself again, casts Magic Bullet and shoots the squire, who survives with 2 boxes. The bullet though catches Caine and deals him 4 damage. The impaler advances and takes the commandos out with boosted spear attacks. The thumper kills the GMCA with a well-placed shot. Jarl retreats into the forest. Round 5. Caine gives 2 focus to the hunter. The hunter advances, shoots the impaler, boosting to hit and damage, leaving it on a few boxes. The Black 13th move up, Lynch executes the impaler and Ryan mage storms the thumper crew off the table. One ranger manages to hit and kill another pygmy. Then Caine walks out of the ruin, puts blur on himself and teleports into the control zone. Caine scores a point and starts provoking Jarl. At this time, he's taken Jarl's army, he's about to take the scenario, and if this keeps up, he'll be going home with his wife too. Jarl, in response, wastes no time. He drops Tactical Supremacy, advances up, and shoots Caine in the face with a rune pistol shot, scoring a 21 on the boosted attack roll, and deals 10 damage points with the with the damage roll, leaving Caine at only 1 box. Jarl then casts Magic Bullet, shoots and kills Lynch, and even though he only rolls a 2 for damage, that's more than enough to take Caine out with the Magic Bullet. You don't insult the devil of the Thornwood's wife. Jarl Skuld wins. In hindsight, sheesh. I know I could have played it safe, wait in the ruin, then jump, run into the zone blurred on my next turn. But I don't think that'd have been entertaining, or am I wrong? I had hoped that defense 20 versus ranged would help keeping Caine alive when he's page 5ing it, and that I could survive 2 magic bullets, or that he'd miss with a shot, which has happened before in this game, you know. It was still awesome to see how a game that seemed quite one-sided at first still did turn around ever so slightly. My VIP this match, I guess it's the Black 13th. For 4 points, those guys put out a lot of damage this game. They're stupidly good. My VUP was the Hunter for not really achieving anything, but that certainly had to do with the broken gun. My biggest blunder, aside from suffering from too much manliness in the last turn, were the early Ranger misplays. I wasn't sure about the inclusion at first, I mean with Signa's red being all that high and stuff. But even with Signa's high red, that +2 bonus really pays off once buffs enter the equation. For list changes, I don't have any. The damage cap net might be debatable and could become to scattergunners, but I like him anyway. I'd like a Lancer though to make spreading the buffs easier, and with Caine potentially super soloing, that might not be the way to go. And now onto the second part of the program, another episode of The Faded Black T-Shirt. Enjoy! So this is the second installment of The Faded Black T-Shirt. And the tournament I'll be reducing today is the first Make War Not Love tourney, which was held in the Zeitgeist local game store in Koblenz, 1 week after the tournament covered last issue. In total 10 people out of an intended 16 attended, a number of them being more or less new to the game. Oh, and to prevent myself from forgetting to mention it later on, my dice were well behaved. All losses I incurred were mainly due to misplays on my part, which is quite a relief. You can't do a thing against bad dice, but you certainly can against bad play. 3 players from our community attended, Aridus, Kurion and me, taking Signa and Kador to the event. To be more precise, I had a Hunting Wolves tier 4 list and my Isaac Harkevich list from issue number 70. Pictures will be different this time since I was the only one taking any. So more detail on my games and less to none on the others. Here's my rundown. Round 1, the Gauntlet, Zerkova vs m&tM. I played Darox, who I played during the first round of the last tournament as well, when I clocked myself, you might remember. Seeing this as a rematch under unclocked conditions, I was eager to take up the challenge. I chose Zerkova as I was unsure whether Harkevich had the potential to deal with his lists, because his other list was Terminus with a lot of Banes. The only thing I really forgot about m&tM was Jumpstart, which takes away some of the deterrence Zerkova uses to stay safe. I played her very aggressively, probably too aggressive for the team, but due to my deployment, I had to figure that I was too far back to really capitalize on using my feet turn 1, so I didn't. And dang, I loathe those bloody scrap thralls. My Widowmakers like them a lot, but I in general don't manage to take out enough of them before they reach me. I've got to work on that. On turn 3, when Zerkova charges the Death Jack, I had the only case of bad rolls where a fully charged Spriggan and a combo slamming Marauder can't take the Death Jack out, which requires me to draw Gorman over for a Black Oil Bomb, which leaves the Seether not taken care of. A point of focus uselessly assigned to the Marauder, leaving me 1 short for casting Watcher, and forgetting to feed, means I'm eating Seether Fists and am smoothed. I guess that Harkovich would have been a better proposition, but that is in hindsight. As said, the other list had a ton of Banes, and I did not want to get into that horrendous matchup. Round 2, Incursion, Zerkova vs Kaya the Wildborn. I got to play against the participant with the best NTR ranking, that's a ranking we have over here in Europe, among all attendants, and I think this was my best game. He's a very relaxed and practiced player, and he took Prime Kaya to a tournament which somehow was a good match to me playing Zerkova, who's also not really seen the tournaments. He had three heavy beasts, including a proxy Getherix, stones, a wood shrimp unit, and a tree. I tried to recall all I know about fighting hordes with war machines, so I let the Kayazi go first to protect my jacks. I once again played Zerkova highly aggressively, this time fully on purpose, however, and it did work. She starts out at the front line, 12 inches in. I run the Kayazi up, charge one of them, feed. The feed catches all the beasts but the Argus, 2 of the stones and 1 or 2 shrimps. Reacting to that, he chooses to play for positions, leaving me a huge opening at the flags to probably score 2 control points in one go. My theory is, if I can score 2 points, then I will only need 1 more point, which I can take from the flag to my right where only his shrimps are, on the assumption that the Widowmakers and the Spriggan can clear that area, which is not impossible. And I'd have earned myself a win, and against such a good player to boot. I guess I got too giddy. I really need to work on handling my adrenaline rushes, because I screw up my activation. The surviving Eliminator should have gone first to engage the Gnarlhorn, but didn't. So the Gnarlhorn got to counterslam the Kayazi, who were meant to score at and clog the middle flag, and he ended up too close for me to score, even though I tried fixing that with Force Blast. Shoot! In addition, I had placed Zerkova just a little too far up for this point in the game, so that the Shadowhorn, whose spirit I missed taking out by the Watcher attack by 1 box, could find a niche from which to show her some of his judo skills. At any rate, that was probably my favorite game from the event. Round 3, Destruction, Harkovich vs Haley Experienced. At this point I was thinking, well, now I should be meeting players my skill is good enough for. It was Destruction and I had to take Harkovich. Thank God I practiced that scenario. Like once. When seeing my opponent's list I was worried. The combination of Haley and maximum long gunners does that to you. When I realized it was Major, not Captain Haley, I was like, Haley Experienced and long gunners? What the f... My worries were mostly gone. I think I know how Haley's feat works, and in seeing that my best assets were range based and he had no squire, I wasn't too worried about her feat. My Greylords and Ironfang Pikemen took the left flank and the battle group went center rightish. After 2 rounds of being too aggressive, I ran into somebody too aggressive. He took first turn and threw the Hunter, the Black 13th and the Lancer over towards his first target. He used Temporal Acceleration to give his Hunter 2 shots per round, which he could boost for damage. Brutal shots from the Black 13th, and through Domination my Juggernaut's Ice Axe to reduce the objective to 1 hit point on round 2. I had the Spriggan that engaged the Lancer, who sadly missed 2 lance attacks that would have scrapped the Lancer. The Pikeman, after enduring a round of shooting, did a move mini-feat engage to take the long gunners on when Haley's feat came. Too bad for him that Harkovich was not caught in it. He moves up, takes his hand cannon and fires at the upfront Haley, boosting damage for 9 points. Black Ivan, in what was his first direct hit with the Bombard in this game, despite the affinity, then takes her out. So in the end, the Circle player Chromac takes first place, and the follow-ups are other people from the area. But the places 4 through 6 go to Kurion, who provided our ride, Aridas and me, as well as the best faction awards for Signa, which was a respectable achievement, and Cardor due to no competition. A solid showing, and I got to be where I wanted to be, 6th out of 10. My new goal is set to once again winning 2 games out of 3. also, this tournament, especially my Zarkova games, got me thinking about how aggressive you could possibly play Zarkova and whether that'd be a plausible strategy. You'll see it return when I will cover Bond's Cantina games. As for next issue's battle report, look forward to more classic Khador on Signar action. But until then, farewell.